Welcome to the Come Hang podcast. I am your host, Specialist Bronson. After serving in the military, I am fascinated by the remarkable stories of those that continue to dedicate their lives to service leadership and leaving no one behind. In our mission to inspire, educate, and collaborate, we invite you to come hang. Welcome back to the show. I have another guest today brought to me by the one and only great Brad Howe. I was introduced to him. We have got Johnny Sandoval on today. Johnny, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on here.
You bet. Johnny, let's start with, let's just give me and our listeners a little bit of a story on your early childhood growing up. Feel free to kind of let us know kind of your relationships with your parents, grandparents, some of the influences you had growing up, and then let's lead into join the military.
I grew up in the county of Los Angeles here in California. Had a pretty good childhood. I always played sports. Always kept myself entertained and busy in any way I can, any way I could. Growing up, I didn't have much. I didn't have much of anything, but whatever I had, I made the best out of it. During high school, junior high school, I've always wanted to play sports. Upon graduation, I wasn't good enough to get a scholarship and anything, so I joined the military, and from there, life has been pretty good.
Good. What branch did you join?
I joined the United States Navy in 1984. I served during the Cold War from 1984 to 1988, active. Then I went to 2 years inactive reserve where I didn't have to report, and after my 2 years inactive, I got an honorable discharge.
Fantastic. What was your MOS? What was your job? What'd you do?
I was an engineman, diesel mechanic. I was on USS Cayuga, LST 1186, also known as a long, slow target. I was part of the amphibious Navy. We carried 500 Marines and all their equipment and gear. I did 3 deployments in 4 years.
Wow. Where were those deployments? What were you doing in those deployments?
The Western Pacific. Like I said, it was during the Cold War, so we were always over there, just in case something was going on, just like was going on with Iran. We're always ready. We're always ready to go.
Right. Okay. Let's move forward to let's talk a little bit about your injury and how that led you into the adaptive sports and how that's kind of impacted and changed your life and where you're going with it now.
Well, back in the early 2001, I was living down in Mexico working. One night I decided to go out and party, have some drinks, and I was drinking and driving, doing 140 miles an hour, and I got nicked by a car. I came to the Red Cross, didn't know what was wrong with me. They told me I had 2 broken legs, and I asked them, well, if I got 2 broken legs, then why does my back hurt? And there were 2 American doctors in Tijuana, Mexico, with an SCI unit. They ran me through this CAT scan, and that's when they realized I had a spinal cord injury. I was under arrest because I had a Mexican citizen, had to get the American consulate involved, and they got me back to the U.S. I was able to have my surgery. That was on February 3rd when I had my car accident. And if it wasn't for the VA rehabbing me and the spinal cord injury unit with the recreation therapist and all the wonderful staff, guiding me, molding me, and teaching me what I need to do. They knew I loved sports. They got me involved, and ever since then, 2001, I haven't looked back. The sports, adaptive sports, have saved not just myself, but many other veterans with disabilities.
Absolutely. What different sports have you done? What has been your favorites?
Ooh, well, at the wheelchair games, my favorite sport is softball. I love playing basketball, but I had to give it up because suffered a shoulder injury. I am 5-time gold medal champion in 9-ball for the past 5 years, and I plan on making it 6. I plan on beating my Army buddy. That we have a nice little friendly wager going. Loser buys coffee. I haven't bought coffee yet.
Right on.
But also, I've done basketball, softball, 9-ball, table tennis, disc golf. I've gone skiing. I've surfed. I flew an airplane. I have jumped out of a nip, or I couldn't jump out. I asked him to get thrown out.
Get thrown out, have him push you.
Which was a pretty good experience. And will I do it again? Oh yeah, but just jump from 18,000 feet. I think I'm gonna go 18,000 feet. I've even done the bobsled up at Park City. When
Okay.
your games went to Salt Lake City, and 50 veterans out of 600 got chosen. And what a roller coaster ride that was! I can tell you that. If you've never done it, I recommend
No,
you try it. It is a rush. You know,
I bet.
I just recently learned how to surf a while back. I've done kayaking. I had a fear of kayaking because the first time I kayaked, I got dumped in the water. Didn't want to get dumped in the water anymore, so I went to this clinic and they assured me everything would be fine, and they were right. Everything was fine. I lost that fear of kayaking. Just keep moving forward and looking back.
So you're doing it all. That is fantastic. I have yet to meet someone. Actually, I found out you know my buddy Orlando.
Oh, Orlando! I won my first medal with that guy in Cleveland back in 2002. It was a bronze medal, but it was an experience. Orlando is one awesome dude. He is the first Paralympian for winner for the team of Puerto Rico.
Yeah. I met him years ago when I first got involved in sled hockey here with the VA. I played some sled hockey with him, and he's gone on, like yourself, to just really get involved in anything and everything that he can do. He competed, 4 years ago in the Olympics, just competed this year in Italy for Puerto Rico. Super awesome dude. I've invited him on the podcast. He's agreed to come on. So I'm hoping to have him on in a few weeks when he makes his rounds through Utah here. So
Yeah, that man also does boxing.
I was gonna say he's got a title fight coming up this September, I believe, or October, something like that. I think.
Yeah, I watched some of his fights, and he has a tendency to lean to the left side, which is going to the opponent's right side. Because me, if he did that to me, I'm coming straight at you on that when he goes out. But he has improved a lot. I mean, I am proud of that man. I know his family very well. I know they're all proud of him. Orlando, shout out to you, buddy. Keep doing what you're doing for us. You're an amazing athlete.
For sure. Yeah. Okay. So, how did you meet Brad? I'm assuming through Winter Sports Clinics. Yeah.
Yes, I met Brad back in 2015.
About the time I met him. Nope. Mine would have been later than that. Mine would have been about 2018 when I met Brad.
In 2016, I really got to know him because he was driving us to sled hockey, and he was giving us all the wonderful. Well, I felt for it. How he lost his driver's license, how he lost the wife, and that's reason why he lost the license. But he tells us so good, he gets believe it, and then he laughs at the end. And so Brad is a character.
He's a good guy.
He's totally awesome. I love that guy.
I do too. When I started this podcast, he was my first guest. I knew there was no one else I wanted to interview other than that guy. He's got a heart, and he has a way of just making you feel valued. I don't even know how to explain it, but he just knows how to be a brother.
Oh,
he's a good dude.
How to make you feel welcome, loved, and at these events, if Brad is around and he can help you out, that man will literally give you the shirt off his back.
100%.
Whether it be minus 50 degrees and you're freezing, he'll give it to you.
So what is your goals? Where are you looking to go, kind of outside of your adaptive sports? What else do you do for fun? What are the things that drive you every day?
Just staying active, helping other disabled veterans. I'm also a board member for my PBA chapter. I'm a sports and recreation coordinator. I try to get all the newly injured involved or who've never heard of these events. I go out there, I tell them about it, I plant a seed in them, come back to me later when they can qualify for these events, and hopefully they'll attend. Because sometimes you know it as well as I do. When you get hurt, first thing that comes into your mind, what the heck am I going to do now? What am I going to do? And some of us, you experienced, I have experienced it. We fall into that depression mode. We look alternative, things to help us numb our mind, whether it be drinking, self-medicating. And it's sad because sometimes we lose a lot of veterans that way. And my main focus is 22 is too high. We need to drop that
Yeah.
lower. And any way I can help a veteran now, entertain them with sports and let them know that what's available out there and they attend, I did my job, and that makes me very, very happy.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. Just in the little bit that I've gotten to know you, talking to you, chatting back and forth the other day, you had mentioned several different programs to go through that deal with different vets. So if you don't mind, take a minute, use this platform to kind of pitch to us. I was giving you the excuse that I'm an able-bodied disabled veteran, and so I don't qualify for certain things. And you were kind of telling me that's not the case. There's different things. So do you mind taking a minute and kind of educating us and other veterans that might be listening what they can look for, where they can go, and what to expect?
Well, if some veterans have invisible disabilities, and some are visible. There are a lot of great programs that I attended one out in Illinois, which is called Oscar Mike, started by a Marine veteran by selling T-shirts out of his garage to help his rugby team get equipment and be able to attend events. Now he brings in veterans from across the country at no cost to their pocket. He brings them to the He has two compounds, one in Illinois and one in Colorado. The one in Illinois is you'll fly an airplane, skydive, drive a razor, shoot some guns, do a little bit of horse therapy where you get to groom some Mustang, and like I said, nothing comes out of the veteran's pocket. And that doesn't need. You really don't need a disability for that one. You need to be a veteran just to qualify for that one. Then we also have the summer sports clinic, which is now gearing towards those veterans who are getting mental health issues and like drug addiction, poverty too, where they can have an attendant, so they can get tools to learn how to survive and function in today's life. Because also, if you have PTSD, whether you're visually impaired, you can do the winter sports clinic, summer sports clinic. They even have a veterans golf clinic where we can attend. I've never attended that, so I can't really tell anything about that because I really don't know about it yet, but I plan to get information on that. What else is there's Golden Age games for veterans over 55 and over. Then we have the wheelchair games. You could be amputee, uh, MS. I think PTSD also qualifies. Certain qualifications qualify, but the only common denominator when you compete at this event, you have to do it in a wheelchair.
Right. So even if you were, say, an able-bodied person, you just even the playing field, you step into a wheelchair. Is that what you're saying, or you're saying you have to be diagnosed, basically put into a wheelchair?
No, I've seen people, like I said, they're amputees, that can still function and walk around, but when they compete, they have to sit in a wheelchair.
Compete on that level. Yeah.
And then
Okay.
that way, that's the common denominator at the National Veterans Wheelchair Games.
Okay.
These other clinics, you do it. Say like if you're an amputee, you want to snowboard in the winter sports clinic, you can do it like that. If you're visually impaired, you'll be able to ski. With people that are helping you because you have guides. As you know, in the sled hockey, you can get into it with able body or
Yep.
amputee, SCI, MS. You can get into sled. You can get into any of this equipment and you just try it out because a lot of the events, like for myself being in a wheelchair, everything I had to do has to be wheelchair bound that I have to use because I use that every day.
Okay. You said you did the surfing. Was that out there in California with Amp Surf?
Yes, it was, and what a
Okay.
wonderful group. I got to
Brad
learn.
introduced me. Is Dana, right? Is that his name that runs that program?
Yes, Dana.
Dana Cummings. Does that sound right?
That sounds right. Yeah, and some of those
I
guys
think it's Dana.
some of those guys were actually in Aspen. Like my first surf instructor was there. And what's funny about him, we were both on the same cruise in 1985. He was on a different ship and I was on a different ship, and we met at Summer Sports Clinic.
Oh.
There's a
Yeah,
small.
Brad introduced me to Dana out there with Amp Surf a few years ago, and I was planning on making a trip out because that was something I'd always wanted to do. I can't remember exactly what came up, and I wasn't able to make it, but
Well,
I'm hoping in the future I could do that.
if you haven't tried it and you want to try it, I recommend you get a hold of it and try it because I'm gonna tell you, the first time I was sitting on that wave, I didn't know what to expect. Next thing you know, I'm getting launched like I'm out of a cannon. I even went airborne.
Oh my gosh.
Or I did what they call a pearl. My instructor was, "Hey, do you want to put on the life vest?" I go, "No, man, I've been doing this, so many months. What do I need a life vest for?" Should have took that as a warning because the next thing I knew, I was flying in the air. But would I do it?
Um,
Yes, I would. And would I recommend it to a new person who's never tried it and really wanted to try it? Try it.
Absolutely. I'd like to do that skydiving, and flying the plane too stuff. Um, that'd be a fun rush there too as well.
Oh, I tell you, I never thought in my life, paralyzed, that I would fly an airplane, skydive. Flying that airplane, it ain't nothing like driving a car. It could be nerve wracking. Cause you're driving a car, you're used to feeling the tires on the road. Well, there ain't no road up in the air, but it's a lot
Feeling
of
all
fun.
yeah. Sweet.
I've even attended, which I never knew existed, was a wheelchair softball World Series. And talking about us team, we had an all-star team picked from the National Veteran Wheelchair Game. I'm on that first team. They also made me captain. We were the minor leagues, and they're the pros. Those guys can ball. But
Yeah.
just the experience of being there, can't explain it. It's just a feeling that you gotta be there to experience it.
When I was doing the sled hockey up here at the VA, they had the Golden Knights came up and did a clinic for us. And we
Not
had a couple teams come in for the Golden Knights came in. I think we had Arizona, Colorado, a couple other states had come in. And so they had a big 3-day clinic up there. And it was empowering, inspirational. I mean, it was powerful to go out and to see that many amputees and the veterans. I mean, we roll up and I was embarrassed at times. Like here I am just walking around and there's these guys, okay, I'm going to pop off this leg, pop off that leg. But kind of you're saying where they level that playing field and they put everybody in the wheelchair. Well, when you all get on the ice in that bucket, it kind of levels the playing field.
yes,
But to be honest, I think the amputees actually have an advantage over us. The weight distributions. I've seen double amputees move and turn and spin on that ice so stinking fast. They are so agile out there. And I'm just like, I've got all this extra weight and I'm 6 foot tall and this is just killing me.
uh,
It's cool. It's really awesome to see those guys work.
I know that thing. I'm 6 foot tall. Me when I get in that bucket, if I get twisted a little bit, I can make it turn one way, but I can't make the turn the other way. And to see those guys amputee balance of themselves on a single blade, I'm like, wow, I'm
Yeah.
really impressed. It's just because I can't do it. I can ski, but I can't do that sled hockey. I can't stay straight in that bucket, or else I'd be out there hitting those guys.
Yeah.
Trying to hit Brad
I
out
got
there, but he's never out there. I always put a bounty on him.
Yeah, I enjoyed the sled hockey a lot. I actually joined the Utah team here
Not
last year for a brief moment when they were the Utah Hockey Club. They've now changed to
mammoth.
Mammoth, I believe. Yeah. But I played with the Utah Hockey Club last year. I went to one tournament down in New Mexico, down in Albuquerque. And it was a good time, but
It's a
it
lot of
wasn't my vibe.
it's a lot of work.
It is. The competition side of it, I didn't enjoy. I enjoyed more going out on the ice when you've got the Brads and the therapists and the people there, and it's more of a community family environment, and we're all trying to help each other out, and we're all, community there. On the competitive team, it was just too much for me. I didn't enjoy it as much. So I I
Keep me
I
overwhelmed.
enjoy going out and hanging with, the guys that are just learning and taking it chill.
And that's what's great about all the events, whether it be the wheelchair games, winter sports clinic, summer sports, golf clinic, Golden Age game, the camaraderie that we have. We're always happy to see each other. We help each other out. We help out the newly injured who have questions that how do I do this? How do I survive that? And I usually tell what worked for me may not work for you, but I can give you some help. And we just as military veterans, we learn how to adapt and overcome.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep. And I think that's the biggest thing of it that I missed was the camaraderie.
oh yeah,
Um,
camaraderie is
and and I miss Brad. And it's sad to know that he's retiring, but bless his heart, the guy's put in over 40 years of
Yeah.
dedicated service, volunteer service.
I see these events. It's not just, I see them as very therapeutic, and it's the best medication that any of us veterans can get while we're there. Because you
Yeah,
meet so many people, people with the same level of injuries, others with different injuries. Sometimes we all have the same injuries, but everyone's different.
yeah,
We help each other out because when we're at these events, that's all it's about. It's like it's one big family reunion.
it is for sure.
At the wheelchair games, we have 600 plus veterans. It is the largest annual wheelchair event in the world.
Really?
Yeah, like those, the Invictus games, all those games that come after 9/11, wheelchair games, the granddaddy of all. That's where they got their ideas.
All right. Sorry about that. Earlier I had some contractors here. We're doing some checking on our water lines to test for a leak, and I turned my water off inside the house, but forgot to turn it back on. And my
Oh,
son texts, he's like, "How come we don't have any water? I need to shower." I'm like, "Oh crap! I better go turn it back on."
I did. We
So
had to do that the other day. I had to turn the water off because the toilet was leaking. Hey, why is not the water on? I go, because I turned it off. It's leaking. Till my brother got home and fixed it. So yeah,
yeah.
I understand how that goes.
So are you retired or do you work?
Oh, actually, I don't work. I volunteer at a wheelchair repair shop whenever he needs something fixed on a manual chair. He'll call me because being 25 years in a wheelchair, I pretty know much how to fix. Well, I've never taken my wheelchair to VA to get it fixed. I just tell them to order me parts, and I change them
Do it
myself.
yourself.
Oh
That's
yeah,
cool. Uh, how old were you when you got injured?
I was 34 when I got injured, which is pretty common age. Vehicle rollover for us men at that age. That's pretty common. They said
Any kids?
2 kids.
Kids? Did they, boys, girls, did they serve?
Oh no, they didn't serve. My daughter's 35. Son is going to be 32. I got 8 grandkids.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Have you done the creative arts festivals yet? Have you had any participation in those?
I did one time at the VA. I was inpatient for a year, and I made a dream catcher in there, and I won first place.
Nice.
So yeah,
Yeah, that's another one that Brad's talked a lot about with, getting together with like the writing groups where they'll introduce veterans with other composers and stuff and help them with
yeah.
writing. And that sounds so cool.
And I think it's called Creative Vet.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are some other awesome, very cool programs.
There was another program I wanted to tell you about. It was Travis Mills Foundation up in Maine. They have
Okay.
a retreat for veterans like yourself that can bring your family member. Those after 9/11 qualify. I applied
Okay.
for it because I'm pre 9/11. I didn't qualify, but there's also Semper Fi Fund that helps out those after 9/11. You got the Wounded Warrior Project that help out those after 9/11. So I think you
Okay.
should
Yeah.
probably check the Mills Foundation. You might get accepted. You might like, you might need a retreat. You can take the wife up there with you. That's what I heard.
Okay. Okay. No, when we get done here too, if you'll text me the different links or whatever names of these different clinics, I'll put it in the comments and on this episode so that
Yeah,
people that are out there listening can go on and look and see, as well as veterans wanting to participate. There's also organizations out there trying to volunteer and help and support and, where can we give back to the veterans? And so I'd like people to know where they can go to look to find places to serve.
a lot of the information I get from the VA through the recreation therapist. Each VA, a lot of VAs have a recreation therapist and things they do for the veterans. Like with me, my chapter down in San Diego, we take our veterans fishing every June and September out off the coast of San Diego. It's one of our best events, and we usually invite a veteran or invite other veterans to come and hang out and just come and fish. Because
Offshore fishing.
shore fish, deep
That's
sea,
cool.
down by
Yeah.
Mexico sometimes.
Nice.
Catch some nice fish.
I've got a nephew that owns a sailboat down in Mexico. He travels back and forth working, and he bought a sailboat and just parks it in the marina down there. And he lived off the sailboat for a couple of years working. I had him on the podcast early on as well. He's trying to start a program. He really wants to take veterans out sailing,
Oh, nice.
and sell the sell trips down to Mexico. So we've been pushing, trying to work on that. He's got another boat that he just bought. He's trying to get going here in Utah. And once he gets that thing up and going, we're going to start pushing and see if we can't get some veterans out on the water.
And there's also a program for sailors. I think it's Challenge Sailors. Something I can't remember, but they'll take you sailing out of San Diego, and I think down out to Florida. All you got to do is
Miami or something.
all you got to do is get there, and they'll pay for the hotel, all the lessons, because like for myself being in a wheelchair, I had to be in a cabin seat that would strap me down, that'll hold me, because when that boat tilts, I can't apply for my legs to hold me up.
Right. I didn't think about that.
Even in Aspen, there's a place called Camel, Challenge Aspen Military Opportunities, that bring out veterans that go skiing during the summer. I mean, skiing during the winter. I think they have a retreats also.
Okay.
So there's a lot of programs out there, and it just, like most of us, we gotta try to figure out and find out where they're at and who knows about them. Like, I know Orlando's probably he's probably involved with Move United.
I haven't heard of that one yet.
Yeah, they help out veterans too.
Okay.
Like I said,
yeah, we got a whole.
There's a lot of programs out there, bro, that people don't know about.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you sharing them. So, how did Brad give you one of my patches, or how did he make the connection and introduce you to me?
He handed me the patch. He goes, Johnny, you better call this number when you get home.
Good. Well, I'm glad you did. My last guest, you're the second one that he's sent out to me there from this winter sports clinic. I interviewed Wendy Major last week. Did you meet her? Okay. Yeah, she came on and told her story, and apparently I did not know going into it. But this was the first time she's told her story publicly. Was on the cast. She kind of opened up about, her military career and the stuff that she went through. And, it was pretty inspirational. And, she actually told me that she was considering not calling because she was a little worried about going, how to talk about it, but Brad convinced her that you could do it. So yeah, it was a good conversation.
That's the problem for a lot of us veterans who get hurt. We have a difficulty of saying what happened, but after a while, once you accept what's going on, it's a lot easier to tell your story.
Yeah, I agree.
Because at first, everything's just like, okay, I don't want nobody to know what happened. It's like, not me. I go, I want the people to know what happened to me, and hopefully they don't do the same thing I did by drinking and driving. It's not worth it.
No.
Not worth,
No.
To be old and wise, person must be young and dumb.
Yeah. Yep. But no, I'm glad you are open and willing to tell that story. And no, I'm glad you told that story when I asked, I was expecting a military injury, didn't cross my mind that it was, sorry, what?
I didn't get hurt. It happened afterwards, and it does happen. It happens to a lot of us. Some of us get hurt while we're in, and some of us get hurt after, right when you get out or years after you get out. But with honorable discharge, I'm lucky and fortunate that I still have medical benefits. They help me with my wheelchair. They help me with transportation to my back and forth to my appointments. So I got a good, support system going here with the San Diego VA. They're very, very helpful to us. And we got the best SCI unit in the country, in my opinion. Everybody will say theirs is better, but I say mine's the best.
Yeah. Well, and I've heard stories. I mean, when I first got into the VA, I'm probably sure it's the same for you. It's changed a lot, but you hear a lot of horror stories of people going through the VAs and they're not being good programs. And, I spent several years in the VA where I wasn't as happy as I probably could have been, but again, it's once you meet the right crowd, you meet those people, and you make that connection. There really are people there like the Brads that they've been around for so long, they just know everything. And they can point you in any direction you need to help. And they follow through. They'll stick by your side and they'll make sure you make that connection. You shake the hand, you get the phone number before they let you go. And so no, there's great things in the VA. I love the VA. It's grown. They've got their problems and weaknesses like anything else in the world, but there are good, genuine people that work in the VA and support us.
Yeah, all the horror stories back in the days, but for my opinion, from what I've seen, they have cleaned it up pretty well good. And they're keeping us healthy and fit, I can tell you that. They keep, keep me active, they keep me motivated. So I got nothing to say about the VA.
No, I don't either. Yeah, you might have to wait for an appointment a little longer than you would in the civilian world, but I think they're even cleaning a lot of that up now. I think they've, if you can't be seen within a timely manner within the VA, they'll outsource it. And they'll let you go out and see somewhere else. So when I very first got into the VA, they didn't have that. It was you saw VA and VA only, or you paid for it out of pocket in the private world. But
you have to wait for the appointment, or now it's like, well, it's more than 90 days out, but we can outsource you to get it done through the community outreach program. And
yeah, so
works great.
It does. No, it's been good. Are you a part of any other programs like VFW, American Legion, any of those other veterans programs?
Legion Post 53.
Okay.
Here in Hemet.
Perfect. I'm here at American Legion Post, I want to say 21 here in Lehigh.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm actually there, what do you call it? The VSO, Veteran Service Officer. So it's my job to help veterans find programs and stuff. And I'm like, I go there, I'm like, I don't even know how to find them. So I'm learning as I go with this job. So I love it when I get to meet guys like you that are just full of knowledge.
We got to learn as we go, brother.
Yep.
What the Confucius say, it doesn't matter how slow you go, as long as you don't stop.
Exactly.
Because some of us, we begin going along the way, and then we get tired of it. And what do? We stop trying to look forward into proceeding it, and then we get stuck in limbo.
Yeah.
It could be a slow process, but you got to wait it out. You got to keep moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. Otherwise, those depressive moments hit, and it's so hard to rebound back. No, it gets dark moments, and trying to rebound from those, it's hard.
Very hard. Then you fall into that quicksand where it just keeps getting worse and worse, and hopefully, you get a lifesaver to throw you a rope and pull you out. Yeah. Some guys or women, they never make it out, and it's sad.
It is. And that's where we get into that 22. And I agree with you. It's too
probably
high.
higher by now.
I think so. I think that 22. So I think it's downgraded for sure. It doesn't speak accurately. Well, Johnny, I have run out of things at the moment. My head is just reeling with trying to remember all of these things that you've mentioned. So I think let's go ahead and wrap this up. But like I said, I want to continue some chats here. I want to get specifics on those names of those different clinics and programs and stuff. And then I want to add something in here to this in post when I edit it, and provide some links and contacts to people out there that are maybe searching, maybe looking for places to volunteer. Is there anything else that you would like to share? Anything else on your mind that you'd like to talk about today?
To all my veteran brothers out there and sisters, if you're going through a hard time, listen to these podcasts, check out these resources that are available to you, and try to get active. And because a downtime for us veterans, it's not a good time. We'll go to a dark place, and some of us can't rebound. Some of us rebound a lot easier than others. But we're all here to support and help each other out. Just check out I don't know the name of the leagues, but I know the names of the programs. All you got to do is just look it up and see if you qualify. And if you qualify, by all means, apply and attend. Like the Oscar Mike, you guys qualify. It's a great program. Then you got the Travis Mills Foundation that helps veterans with a retreat for after post 9/11. Then you got the Semper Fi Fund that help post 9/11. You got the Wounded Warriors that help post 9/11. So there's some programs out there that are available. So guys, look them up. You know, if you're in a wheelchair, or disabled veteran, whether PTSD, MS, amputee, spinal cord injury, or even with mental health issues, there's a summer sports clinic that will be held in Orlando. The winter sports clinic that's always held in Snowmass Village. Then you have the Veterans Golf Clinic, which is held in Iowa. The Golden Age Games this year will be in Tampa. It's in a different city every year. And the National Veteran Wheelchair Games is in a different city every year. This year we're going to Detroit. All these programs are available to all those veterans with disabilities.
Perfect. Okay. Well, Johnny, thank you. It's been a pleasure to meet you, brother. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your time. And thank you for continuing to serve and give back and being that servant leader.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And Brad, thank you for introducing us. You know, all we can do is help each other out.
Absolutely.
Because if we don't help each other out, who will?
Yeah, absolutely.